refrigerant that's in liquid state is going to fall to the bottom of the receiver, and then the liquid is going to be allowed to go out and flow back to the meter device. So what we're going to do is, you can take the cap off of the valve. No, this one here. So here at the receiver, this valve here is referred to as the King valve. So if we front seat the King valve, that will stop that liquid from leaving out of the receiver, and it will trap it in the receiver, and it will trap the refrigerant. It will trap the refrigerant in the receiver and the condenser. And what that will allow you to do is to repair part of the system that doesn't have any refrigerant in it without having to recover all the refrigerant out of the system.
You said front seated?
Yes.
All right.
So basically closing it all off.
While it's running, because the compressor is going to continue to pull the vapor out of the evaporator and pump it into the condenser, but when it changes to a liquid, it's not going to be allowed to flow out of here back to the meter device. And so what's going to happen is, when you front seat it, you need to start watching your gauges, because your low side gauge is going to drop to 0 and your high side gauge is going to stay.
That's how you go know it ain't no more. No more.
You mean it's going to go up?
Zero,
The high side is going to, the pressure is going to go up?
The pressure in the high side may go up slightly, but only the low side is going to drop to 0.
All right.
Once it gets to 0, you shut it off, and then the pressure will be stored. The refrigerant will be stored in the condenser and
On the high side.
receiver on the high side.
Cool.
So as long as the refrigerant is stored over here, you can repair anything on the low side, see, because there's no refrigerant in that section of the system.
And you can do the same thing work in reverse.
No, you can't do it in reverse, because the condenser is where it changes to liquid at, see.
Okay.
So you can only do it in that area where it's going to be changed back into a liquid for storage.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and front seat it.
Seven times too?
Well, this
So he got to close it
you'll
off.
feel it when it stops.
Oh,
Stops
closing
running.
it. Okay, I'm
Double
sure.
it. So this is already back seated, so you're going to fully front seat.
Close it
Counterpart,
off.
huh?
Once you close it off, then you're going to start watching your gauges,
Counterclockwise.
because your low side pressure.
Front seat is counterclockwise.
This is referred to as a pump down. Snug it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. So now watch your gauges. Your low side's going to start to drop.
Yeah.
Now you don't want it to go into a vacuum, so once it gets to 0, you want to turn the power on.
When I give you the word, cut off the power.
Right now?
You know, he's speaking giggles.
Ah, too funny. About good right there, huh?
All right,
Nah, I'm looking at the shadow.
kill the power.
With the glove in the hand.
All right.
All right. So now 2 things that you want to do. One, you want to watch your gauge and see if that pressure starts to go back up. If that pressure starts to go back up, then 1 or 2 things is happening. Either there's still residual refrigerant in the evaporator that's still boiling, and that's going to cause the pressure to increase slightly. Excuse me. Or there's a leak here at your King valve, and it's allowing the pressure to go through still. But if the King valve is working and there's no more refrigerant, then it should hold at 0.
You holding too.
Okay, so now,
Him good.
So now in theory, well, I shouldn't say in theory, but in actuality, there's no pressure on the outlet side of the compressor through the metering device, and actually, okay, so your refrigerant is trapped inside the receiver and the condenser. So there's no refrigerant leaving out of the receiver. So from this point forward, through the metering device, through the evaporator, out of the suction line, back to here, there's no refrigerant in that section of it.
So this basically closes. My bad. That's closed off right
This
there.
is front seated, so the refrigerant is trapped here and here.
Alright.
So you can replace this now.
You can replace
This,
that,
the whole line,
yeah, the line
everything
through
on
the
both sides.
evaporator all the way back.
Everything low side to
Nipples?
this point.
Yes.
low side.
Now, the reason that you can't do it in reverse is because The condenser condenses it into a liquid, whereas the evaporator boils it into a vapor.
Right.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have.
And once it boils up, that temperature, once you stop it and turn it off, is gonna condense.
Well, you have the capacity or the space to hold that liquid charge in liquid state because of the volume of liquid, right? That's why your liquid line is smaller than your vapor line, because you can carry an equal amount of liquid in a small tube as you do vapor in a large tube.
Right.
So the vapor is going to need more space, whereas the liquid needs less. But that allows
Good
you to
camera.
repair part of the system without physically removing the refrigerant, is what it does. It takes more time to recover the refrigerant and try to charge it back than to do a pump down. Because guess what? Once you repair the system, and let's say you replace the evaporator, once you put the new evaporator in, then you can check it for leaks through the low side, because right now there's no pressure over there, right? Because this valve is closed. So you can pressurize it through the low side, and if there are no leaks, then you can even pull a vacuum through the low side on the part that we don't have any refrigerant in. You can pull a vacuum on it. Once you pull a vacuum on it, then you can let the refrigerant.
Wouldn't that vacuum it straight out of the condenser?
No, because see, the king valve
It's
is
cutting it off.
separating it.
Yeah,
closes
so it wouldn't
off.
go backwards.
It can't go backwards through the compressor. No.
Yeah,
The
because
compressor
it's a
pumps it
liquid
in one
now. It's a
direction.
liquid now. Okay,
No,
I
the
got you.
compressor is only going to pump the refrigerant in one direction.
Okay.
Because once the valve's closed, then it doesn't allow the discharge pressure to flow back through the cylinder.
All right.
And like you say, once you do your repair to whatever side, when you were saying to check the pressure, like you did before, you can open up this side of the gauge
Yeah.
and check the
Yeah,
pressure.
you can add vapor pressure
Yeah.
to it to check it for leaks. Then you can remove that with the curving machine, and then you can pull a vacuum on it just on the low side. As long as you don't open this valve for the high side, you're doing all your work just on the low side.
Okay, quick question.
Yes.
So you run the vacuum, the refrigerant's already in the system,
Mhm.
and before we started this this training, we gave the compressors some
We added 40 pounds of vapor pressure to the system so we could start the
so
compressor.
now
up,
this
yes.
is we can't do that, can we? We can't add the vapor pressure. How do we turn on the system again?
Well, there's no need to add the vapor pressure because you got the correct charge in here already, right?
How do you
So,
start it without
bef-
messing it up?
Well, the way you start it without messing it up is before you turn the compressor back on,
Just
you
open it
you
back
open
up.
the key
That
valve
seat.
here, and that releases the refrigerant back into all of the system.
Oh, okay.
Because you got the correct charge in.
You backseat the.
So it's enough pressure in there that would just push it all
Now
out.
remember,
Vapor.
there's a pressure difference, right? 'Cause
Uh-huh.
right now you got how much pressure on the high side?
Yeah, I see what you're
So
saying.
the pressure
It'll
is
drop back
different
down.
on,
Okay.
on the high side, so it's going to try to flow to equalize. So
Okay,
as
I
soon
got
as you
you.
open that king valve, it's going to
gonna go
start
to the
flowing
lower
over
side.
to the low side.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So you got to release that before
First.
you run the compressor again.
Right. 'Cause if not, you'll damage the compressor.
Okay.
That's
Correct.
why we turned it off.
That's why
when
we
got
turned it
down
off and
to
got to zero. Okay, so after we've done our repairs, check for leaks, we don't have to add any more refrigerant to it because we got the correct charge already. We just got to release that back into all of the
Just
system.
say like you want to check for leaks. What do you say you can use like nitrogen or something?
You can use nitrogen with a small amount of refrigerant, or you can use some refrigerant, but for an electronic leak detector, you got to have some refrigerant mixed with
Okay,
the
you gotta have-
nitrogen
okay,
to be able to
okay.
detect it.
Okay.
If you use just nitrogen only, then you can use soap bubbles.
Yeah.
But to use your electronic leak detector, it has to be
It
refrigerant
gotta
mixed
be
with
some
it.
refrigerant.
What about
okay.
that refrigerator dye? They got those for AC unit, but it's just for cars.
Refrigerant what?
Dye. Like,
They make a dye for all systems. A dye doesn't matter whether it's a car or a house. You can use the dye in all of the systems.
And that'll tell you if it was a leak or not too.
Yeah, but you don't
It'll
use
show up.
you don't use the dye unless you can't find it. Say with your electronic leak detector, you don't automatically just put the dye in there.
All right.
That's a contaminant.
You want to try to keep anything other than refrigerant and oil out of the system if you possibly can. Now, supposedly the dye doesn't hurt anything, but if you can find the leak with the electronic leak detector, why would you put the dye in there? The
Yeah.
dye would be for scenarios where you tried other methods, but you still can't find the leak.
So basically, that's the last resort.
Yeah,
I got you.
that's after you've tried the electronic, soap bubbles, the electronic, and other means, and you still can't find it.
What,
Alright.
we discussed this yesterday. What
that
was called
dye.
again?
Pressure switch.
The pressure switch, okay.
Now, is this another point to check pressure?
You can.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. That's why I thought you was taking off.
Yeah, pressure can be checked there as well.
You'll hook your gauges up to that?
Yeah, just like you hit the there, you hit the
You have
here.
the mid-seated, right? Like you
Back
You
seat.
still would have to.
What would that be though? The high side or the low side?
Well, what size tube is going into it? So that's how you can tell.
Okay.
What size tube? Because you got the large tube and you got the small tube.
Okay, so that'll be the high side
That'll be the
still.
high side.
I
yes.
got you.
Okay, we can go ahead and backseat that and let the equipment.
Any other questions, fellas? I'm about to turn it off. All right.